Welcome to Yellow Brick Road. I'm Jordan. This is James. I don't know why I'm laughing, but I am. Nervous giggles, maybe. Today we're going to be talking about Tim Pool's appearance on the Jimmy Dore show. And it's not going to be the full thing, but we're going to look at what I felt was the most interesting part of it. But first, please consider donating to Devon's Journey to Recovery. The link is in the description box, and the website is in the intro to this video. That's right. If you hear that barking, Kramer likes it. What he's saying is, please go donate. Devon's Journey to Recovery. The link is in the description box. Any amount will help, guys. Please. All right. So we have Tim Pool here on Jimmy Dore's show. This is a request from a commenter. And he had some pretty inflammatory words for Tim Pool. Something to the effect of fraud or, something like that. And my intuitive sense felt the same way because we were talking about him probably around the time he was on Rogan's podcast with Jack Dorsey.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know, something just not right.
Mm-hmm.
And what I think it is his waffling type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
To where it's like, I don't know if he's being corrupt when he does these things. He may just honestly have no, feet planted in the ground anywhere. He may just be able to be moved like that. But, I question if it's corrupt or not. Mm-hmm. Whether, when you start doing these team playing things and moving yourself in different political brackets, like I'm a moderate now, and I'm a leftist, and then conservatives, and blah, 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 blah. Like, Jimmy Dore uses labels on himself as well, but the way he acts is not the way Tim Pool acts. Jimmy Dore will fucking flamethrow anyone that he feels is like corrupt in any type of way. Yeah. He's like, fuck this guy, fuck him, basically being, fuck her.
Like, how do I say this? An immovable thing.
Yeah. And Jimmy's like, when he fights for a topic and he gets that sense that it's the righteous thing to do, he will go full on flames. Like, yeah. Medicare for all, climate change stuff, whatever. He goes full force into it. When I hear Tim Pool talk about these things, it seems like mild-mannered and almost like it sounds like someone could change your mind someday. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
Like, it sounds like someone could move you on this thing to where where your heart's not really invested in it.
It's like a...
It's almost like a politician.
It's like a man with, what's the word? Instead of a house, he has a mobile home.
Yeah, that's a good metaphor.
So when the seasons change, he can go. You know what I mean?
And I'm not going to lie, back in my head, questioned whether that was for views and attention and things like that. But all right, so
like it's winter's coming. Yep, time to go to this climate over here.
So Jimmy Dore is going to ask this question about Tim Pool's politics and where he sort of stands on the spectrum. And here's Tim Pool's answer.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, but you're on the left.
Well, I'll do a political compass test. I am center left, right? So I was a big Bernie supporter in 2015. And
so you would be they would consider you far left fringe if you're a Bernie supporter, even though his policies are supported by the majority of not only Democrats but Americans.
The comments I got on YouTube are like, Tim's a socialist, but I still love him. Things like that. And I'm like, I'm definitely not a socialist. Absolutely not. I'm rather centrist and I lean left. And it's complicated too because people don't seem to realize it.
It's like, what does that mean?
I
don't know.
That's why I don't like political lingo. I really don't like it. Hey man, what are your ideas?
Yeah.
Tell me your ideas. Present them.
When I hear Jimmy Dore call himself a progressive, it's like a moral stance he's making. Like, I fight for good. Like that type of shit. Not, I'm a little bit to the left of Bernie, but, right over there is Kamala Harris. I'm sort of,
More of center left?
It's like, I don't know.
I'm more to the east.
whether it's corrupt or ignorance or whatever, at the very least, it's very weird.
So they start giving you like a latitude, longitude. I'm more of over here, this area, but when the wind blows, I can just go way over here. Like what? How come you sound unsure?
Yeah. And I've heard this several times from Tim Pool when someone brings up a counterpoint. Like I was like, maybe I didn't research that enough. Maybe I should go research that more. And blah 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 blah. I'm like, what? I don't know.
What do you think makes you a centrist? Like, what do you center about?
So I think in terms of economic policy, I think I used to be. So have you ever seen a political compass? How it's got the 4 quadrants? Yeah. I used to be really close to like Jill Stein and Bernie Sanders, and I've moved a little bit closer to the center, and that means I'm less in favor of certain social policies than I used to be.
Okay.
But I still fall on the left in that. Like I tweeted about it.
Like what would be one of those social policies you're less?
Progressive tax, hands down, 100%.
You're against the progressive?
No, I'm for the progressive tax.
Oh, okay. So that makes you more progressive then.
That's what I mean. So
you can almost hear like the confusing nature of Jimmy Dore, like the way he sounds. It's like, wouldn't that make you even more left?
Yeah. Where's
your centrist views at? But just let him finish, to be fair.
So I think the minimum wage is so. Here's what puts me at odds with conservatives. Minimum wage, progressive tax, regulation on big companies and big business, and the expansion of civil rights for marginalized groups. Conservatives are like, less government, less government, less government. And I'm like, I'm pro-choice. And I say with caveats on all of these things because it's really easy to just say I'm for this and then not explain it. And conservatives think all of a sudden I'm a socialist who wants to abort live babies or whatever. That's not the case. There's very specific exceptions for abortion and all that stuff. It's very complicated. And this is one of the difficulties between the left and the right is understanding the nuance of the argument. But
So what is the part that you're opposed to left on?
So yeah, like answer the question, please.
Yeah.
And that may sound mean. I don't mean it in a mean way. I'm just. It's like.
Here's a
there. I got you. Answer the question.
Well, it's like, hey, I don't mind if there's a little bit of, hey, Keith, answer the goddamn question. I get tired of that. It's like, hey, man, it's like, do you like a sandwich, or do you like what do you call it, or like no, my bad, finger food, or like shit on plates, Yeah. Well, I enjoy eating food a lot, but the main thing is to really look at as far as like drinks are concerned. Is that really food? Like, can you answer the fucking question? You know what I mean? Like finger food, or you're more the guy like that eats shit off of a plate with a fork and like knife and shit.
So, yeah.
Like you like
I
too
don't
much of that.
I don't mind the like a OCD response, but it's like answer the question though. As a viewer, I want to hear that.
So I used to be for universal health care.
Oh, you're not?
Now I'm more for public option. And the reason for that primarily is I don't know what the difference is between the government administration of healthcare versus private from national level averages. I understand there's going to be nuanced things like the profit motive versus the public good. But I kind of felt like if we reduce all of our choices to one, we could create a situation where the government has no obligation to do better and fix the bloat. And my reference for this is how the school system has progressed.
I can see the logic of where he's coming from. I just think it's
poor.
Yeah. The logic of if the government's running this is I would think a right-wing conservative area type of answer.
Yeah.
We don't want the government in control of everything.
No.
So he's thinking if the government's in control of healthcare, they have no competition, so they're gonna
monopolize it.
Well, it's centralized.
You know what I mean?
But they're gonna, they can do shitty things and get away with it because there's no competition.
That's what I mean by monopoly. Like,
yeah.
In reality, if it's a group of people who are completely competent, then would that be such a bad thing? No.
Yeah. What about, what we have, which is basically creating the insurance companies into a monopoly, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I would think when you almost make it, I believe Obamacare made it like you have to get health care.
Mm-hmm. And
you have to do it through these private insurance companies, unless you're, 65 and older or whatever, for Medicaid and Medicare. So I think that's a poor reason why we shouldn't have free healthcare across the board.
Stupid.
Now, I could be missing his point entirely here, but it's like I try to look at things less from a political landscape and less from a analytical political landscape, and look at it more as just a person. It's like, oh, if you get hurt, you should be able to get fixed for free. It's a right.
Yeah.
Like, it should be a right for you to exist, basically.
Like, hey, in an ideal world, should like, hey man, you hurt yourself or something's wrong with you, someone can help you.
Yeah.
You must pay me. It's like, huh?
And that's why I make that difference between Jimmy Dore and Tim Pool. One guy sounds like he's speaking from the heart, and with the information backing his side too, as far as he makes an argument for universal health care. He's not an expert, but he'll be like, but this guy's an expert, and he'll point them out. Or this guy's lying to you. This guy's shilling to get rid of Medicare for all. It's like he can point those things out, but he does it with heart, you know? He does it as a normal person that wants the righteous thing to happen, which is everyone have free health care. This guy's Tim Pool is getting into the analytical, is it, you know, how are we going to pay for this type of argument?
I don't like that shit, man.
The government's, you know, can always be corrupt.
He's acting like the government's some sort of entity that will always be this.
I thought it was made up of people.
It's people. Yeah. People. Oh,
Yeah.
People hurt people. People kill people. Then you gotta ask, hey, why is that, Tim? Why? You don't want the government in control of this? Why?
Yeah.
Because there's statistics supporting that usually governments always do this? Why?
Yeah. So it's like, let's not pussyfoot around to, you know, because we're worried about some potentially super corrupt government in regards to healthcare. Instead of pussyfooting around and saying, you know, oh, well, this government could be really evil and, you know, take advantage of people using this healthcare because there's no other options, right?
Yeah.
Instead of that, like, let's try to get as many people, as far as health is concerned, taken care of as possible. And Medicare for all seems to be a blanket solution, as in, oh, everyone has it. If you're a billionaire or if you're a homeless dude, healthcare is provided for you. I don't see the moral argument against that. I can only hear the politically, analytically driven answers. That's all I can hear as a counterpoint to that.
Yeah.
But what if the government's evil? Not enough.
Pause it. Well, especially if you go deeper, then he's gonna get exposed. It's like, why is that? They have a tendency to be corrupt.
Yeah.
Why? And start, you know, it's like a mirror with dust on it. Just start fucking wiping it away.
Well, let's see if he gets a pushback.
Oh no.
I look at a lot of the social programs we have, and I'm like, well, we definitely need to expand social programs. We definitely need a progressive tax. We need to keep social inequality in check. Otherwise, the entire system will collapse from, you know, wealth inequality creates destabilization. But when I look at schools and certain welfare programs, it feels like the response from government tends to be, we get a cut on our arm, let's put a Band-Aid on it. A month later, well, it's starting to fester, let's put a Band-Aid on it. And then eventually you've got this big, like, just they keep wrapping more bandages into it. At a certain point, you got to wipe it off, clean the wound, and rebandage it. And so my concern is there needs to be something to incentivize a government program entirely on its own. Look, when you look at the post office.
See, to me, Obamacare is a Band-Aid. And it's a
agree.
big bunch of Band-Aids, different Band-Aids, and it's there to protect the profit motive and make sure it stays somehow in healthcare, and it still leaves 30 million people out.
I agree.
So if we just had
Just a simple, calm answer. Great response. The ACA, Affordable Care Act, that seemed more like the Band-Aid in this scenario.
Yeah.
Well, how are you going to get everyone to health care? Well, we have to make sure that we'll make it illegal for them not to get the health care. It's like, well, what about kids? We'll make it so that it stays until they're 26. How are you going to keep these, so you see the healthcare industry, they have a lot of employees. They're going to lose jobs if we just put in free healthcare for everyone. Like, well, we'll do we'll have the Affordable Care Act. We'll have to go through the insurance companies as a middleman, as a go-between, so that they can stay in business and make plenty of profits and keep all those jobs. See,
like, what?
I kept the jobs around. It's like there's a certain point where it's like, no, let's fight.
Is it funny how like getting rid of one thing? What's your solution? It's like they'll be out of jobs. Yeah, but if we have a universal basic income, then they'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'll have no job. It's like, come on.
Well, let's stick to healthcare.
Yeah.
Look at the people who work for the insurance companies.
Mm-hmm.
I may be out of my realm with this, but I think a lot of those guys can transfer into government jobs as far as them working for a free healthcare system.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. So
all the
like
secretaries and all that shit, like now we have a healthcare facility for each state.
A healthcare facility that requires you to, like, for people to pay. It's like, oh, it's gone, never coming back. Nope, you guys are dead. Versus, like, just slap a new name on it, change some things. All right, we still have same jobs, but different.
Yeah. And also,
come on, guys.
I could be wrong about those too. Bernie Sanders, I don't think he wants to get rid of just the private insurance company at all. It'll be downsized by quite a bit because they won't be able to compete with free healthcare.
No, fuck no.
They won't be able to compete with that. But they can still have smaller businesses in the sense of, oh, I want new tits. Okay, you can go through this private insurance company to do it. The government's not going to pay for that.
No.
Or I want, I don't know, a grill or something like that.
Yeah. I don't even know how that shit works.
The little extra things that aren't about your safety. Those things insurance companies would exist for.
Yeah.
I would think.
Medicare, like the rest of the world, has figured out decades ago.
I think
it would save everybody money. We'd all have better health care, and we'd all have better outcomes. So I don't understand what you could be against on that.
Yeah, me neither.
Same.
The only way you could be is if you're doing this team playing shit.
Yeah.
To where you're like, well, I'm not exactly a leftist anymore. I'm more of a moderate guy.
Yeah.
And as moderate guys, we stand on this. It's like, what? What does your humanity say to you?
Exactly. It's like, a surfer.
Yeah.
First, you got to paddle out there to the wave.
Yeah.
And as the wave is going, you're riding it. You got to adjust yourself slowly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
rather than just being like, I'm here.
And here's the thing about it. Jimmy Dore has the logic on his side as well.
Yeah.
So it's not just facts over feelings. Like, he has the logic and he has the heart both on his team.
I'd be so happy if you never said that shit ever again.
What?
I hate facts over feelings, bro. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, someone should get that memo to.
Did you get
Shapiro.
the memo?
You're
a punk.
Sit around.
I absolutely want everyone in the United States to have access to healthcare, and it's just.
I don't like that term, access to healthcare.
Yeah.
I was like, everyone just has healthcare. It's taken care of.
Yeah.
Just go in.
That's it.
Anything, stitches, something like that.
Yeah.
Broke your arm, you're in there.
Yeah.
Not. See, it's available. It's access.
Yeah.
You have access. I don't know. It's just the way it's worded.
No. You're right. Look, there's access to it. Then you have it. It's there for you.
Yeah.
Whenever you need it, it's there.
That's just a semantics thing for me. Let's continue.
No, it matters.
For one, it's really complicated, and I don't know if I'm smart enough to like. This is my opinion.
I'm not smart enough either, but I know that there are people who are smart enough, and they figured it out in every other country decades ago.
How big are the?
That's exactly what I just said before about it. Right? Tim Pool getting into that realm, like he gets pushed back and he's like, well, I'm not really an expert. I don't really know. Jimmy Dore's like, I'm not an expert either, but these guys here.
Yeah, they did it.
So.
Countries.
France, UK, Germany.
So here's the thing,
Canada,
right? Between 30 and 60 million.
I mean, Russia has fucking Medicare for all, for heck's sake. I mean, we're the last people on earth who hasn't figured this out.
There's a few other really other countries that haven't, that makes us look really, really bad in that regard too. So first,
we're like 39th, I think, on health outcomes in the world, the richest country in the world. I mean,
this is just this is a polite slang. Just but there's Germany, there's Russia, there's Mexico. There's like he was gonna keep going until Tim Pool started saying something.
Yeah, it's like one dude like trying to like bench press, and these dudes just keep putting on more weight. He's like,
Yeah. It's like, yeah, also our healthcare is ranked like 39th, so we're not the best,
No.
the most healthy nation either.
No.
So it's not like this is like, what's the goal of healthcare again? Make us healthy?
Money? I mean, healthy?
Our system is clearly broken. That we're
agree,
living in the
absolutely.
bandage,
So-
and
so-
the fix is Medicare for all because it takes the profit motive out of it. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't.
But
wanna-
but I completely agree with you. All right, and so the way I look at it is, here's what.
If you completely agree, then
It's like, what? You completely agree with them?
yeah.
I was saying, it's just weird. It's weird. My intuition goes off, but it's also like, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And I look them up and I see, like you see it right there. I look up Tim Pool and AOC, and there's just videos upon videos about her. I'm like, there's a whole bunch of people out there.
It's like, watch out for this guy. Like, intuition tells me it's like,
And I'm not saying AOC shouldn't be inspected heavily.
oh,
She
no,
should be.
I don't trust her.
But
But it's literally like, you going with where the tide takes you, bro. Not liking that, you know?
I want Medicare for all. I want universal health care for everybody. What do we do to get there? Like, what do we have to do? Because here's a problem. The healthcare system is a huge portion of our economy, and upsetting that could destabilize our economy and, in turn, the rest of the world's economy. There's
it's like almost 20% of our GDP.
yeah,
I think.
which is also kind of nightmarish.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a problem, and maybe the solution is we're on a drug that needs to be stopped, and we need to go cold turkey. Maybe that has to happen. Will there be unforeseen consequences? So right now, me being a centrist and having rather tepid opinions, it's kind of like, well, maybe what we should do is start with a government option, a government-run program that people can opt into, and let people have also private insurance at the same time. Like a lot of countries do that too.
Yeah.
Universal health care.
There's a hybrid. And
then-
lots of countries have supplement.
Like you said, like we said earlier, it's like, are you more of an analytical guy as far as, well, as far as money goes, like we're gonna be hit hard if this goes away.
yeah.
Like, hey, dude, it's a system. You can fucking change it.
Yeah, and I'm not, what I say right now, I'm not saying this is true, but it seems like he looks for the team or the whatever area on the political spectrum, and then he adopts the principles of that,
Yeah.
rather than just someone just being themselves, and it's like, oh, I guess I fit into this group. I don't, that's just what it sounds like. I'm not saying that's true or anything.
Well, I don't know either, but from what I see, it's a dude that's like analytical,
Yeah.
seemingly like
And-
analytical.
That'll remind you of someone like David Pakman,
Yeah.
which Jimmy Dore fans have a beef with. Because he's too analytical. If we sacrifice our principles here, then enough time will build up, and then we'll have our right person.
No,
10
no.
years from now. It's like,
No.
nah. Righteousness does not take a break.
Yeah.
Supplemental insurance, also things like
Yeah.
that, and even Canada has that.
Maybe then that's. Here's the thing, right? I feel like that's the reasonable solution, but of course, what do we get? We get Obamacare. Of
course,
because the
which is horrible.
Republicans are like, we're not going to grant you a public option. So our compromise is no public option, and I'm like, the public option is the compromise, right?
Yes.
And that's me being compromised.
So. Let me just also say that
I don't think Obama was ever for Medicare for all. So
No.
to say that the public option was we're negotiating things and we'll put this on it, like, let us have this and we'll allow the private insurance companies to be
You know
involved.
what's funny? They could do this. Like, if they really want it to be done, like a government, they could
Yeah.
do it. Straight up.
I don't think Obama was ever Medicare for all. He might have maybe said it, but I don't think he was ever really for it.
No. I'll make sure that all Americans
it
have
was Barack
access to
Obama,
health
in
care.
fact.
Yeah.
Like,
The Republicans
fuck.
certainly were against it,
There.
but it was Barack Obama who made sure that the public option did not make it into the Obamacare bill. So it wasn't just Republicans; it was Barack Obama.
I understand that it's really complicated, and I don't have all the solutions, but I
What?
do feel like
Well, Jimmy Dore just literally just discounted the argument Tim Pool made about the public option and Obama. He's like, I'm not an expert really. It's like, wait.
yeah.
So how are you a centrist? I don't get it.
That's what I meant by, are you
Guessing? Or are
That's
you
what I
just
meant,
like,
right?
centrist? I'll be that.
He's washing dishes, it's sunny out, then starts raining. Oh, gotta go. Like, picks up in his mobile home, drives away,
Yeah.
plants. Then it starts being windy. He's like, I don't like that either. Are you movable, man?
So,
You know what I mean?
so Tim Pool, I don't know him obviously, but I don't dislike him or anything. It's just these are red flags to me.
Same.
As far as like a political analyst, but let's continue.
I don't like the political analyst purely. You know, like why?
Yeah, that's good.
We have no government option. Right?
No,
all we have is public.
We don't have. We don't
private.
Private. We have no public op. It's ridiculous that they don't offer you to buy into Medicare. It's ridiculous, and it just shows you that we don't live in a democracy. We actually do live in an oligarchy.
Absolutely.
Like it's been proven. It's been proven, and everyone still pretends that voting matters.
So let me just point out, there's very few things I have particularly strong opinions on because, my God, half the stuff you told me, I'm like, you're right. I just don't know. I wouldn't even know where to begin to figure it out.
Why are you saying?
How'd you get those opinions in the first place?
Well,
if you didn't know how to figure them out.
Here's the thing: it's like rather than someone saying, from what I see, right? I think it's this rather than him like affirming a statement, you know?
Yeah.
Making a statement. Actually, it's this. Oh, okay. I don't like that. You know.
I'm thinking his lane is more with combating SJWs and maybe alt-right guys or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's more of his arena.
So for that,
not really commentary.
For that, it's like, oh, that's light work.
Yeah.
Like, is that what majority of your videos are about, buddy? You know.
Could be.
Which is why it's like, you know, when you move up on the ladder, it's like maybe you need to go keep like combating silly people, man. You know, it makes you look better.
Yeah.
Then you'll get a Rogan again.
So I have ideas on some things, but I will say this. It blows my mind when it comes to the issue of censorship, though. When I've always been for, like, we need to regulate these companies, man. Laissez-faire capitalism is a nightmare, in my opinion. You end up with, the example I love using is when, it's been like 15 years since I've gone over this history, so I could be messing it up in my head. I used to work for an environmental organization. You have all these different companies polluting a little tiny bit. Mm-hmm. And they say, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm polluting within the limits. I'm doing everything right. Mm-hmm. And then a river burst into flames because it got polluted with sludge and other pollutants and chemicals.
Cuyahoga River.
Was that what it was?
Yes, and the only reason it made the news was because the New York Times reporter happened to be traveling over that river.
And saw the river on fire.
And saw it on fire and wrote a story about it. That used to happen all the time.
And then we passed a regulation saying, listen, the snowflake doesn't blame itself for the avalanche.
Yeah.
All these companies were doing one little thing they didn't think was a big deal, but in the bigger picture, when we stepped back, we realized how much of a problem it was. And so that's been like, I'm probably like an environmentalist first on anything I'd be like really for. You know, you can't, if you don't have a planet to live on, everything else is stamp collecting. It doesn't matter. So when it comes to the issue of censorship, I'm seeing so many people advocate for multinational billion-dollar corporations with foreign investors to be unchecked entirely on this platform that can control our elections.
Let me just quickly say that's why we have a Space Force. When shit can't be profitable here anymore, we can go to the other planets and just ruin them too.
And I'm not so sure about government regulation of like Twitter or YouTube or whatever.
No.
That's where I turn into a capitalist, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Like just someone else set up a company. Everyone go there. They start getting more resources. They can create a better site. Either that or have a, dare I say, a public option. But where everyone knows that, like, okay, the government runs this specific one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So this is
where'd everybody go?
That was a great point you made on the Joe Rogan podcast. I was jumping up and down for joy when you made that point because you did it in such an articulate way.
Jimmy Dore. All right, I gotta run.
All right.
Thanks for watching, guys. I gotta run, so sorry I don't have some explanatory outro statement, but please subscribe if you like. Always comment. Donate to Devon's Journey to Recovery. The link is in the description box. Anytime you guys have a video that you want us to look at or something you find interesting, please put it in the comments. We will check it out. And with that said, give this video a thumbs down.
Say you wanna get in.